It is time for your weekly dose of me, because I'm sure you've all missed me dearly. Totally. I'm still kinda sick, but you know, we ballin'. I haven't touched this game in like 2 weeks. So I figured I should get my... I think it's been exactly 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been exactly 2 weeks. So I figured I'd get my gas back on it, or else I'll never finish it. Let's go, where were we? I don't remember what happened last. Hate that my mouse disappears the moment I start streaming again. After a brief discussion by the mirror, I retreat to the bathroom so I can clean myself up. I don't know quite how sore my muscles were until I sank into the tub. I have a few scrapes on my knees and a cut on my leg from a nasty fall, but that's nothing compared to the injuries Leofi sustained on my behalf. Edmund's sword cut for her shoulder as though it were a slab of meat. I mean, technically it was. Could have killed her, but she didn't make a single complaint. I was able to withstand such a devastating blow. Must be magic. Maybe Leofi's body isn't made of flesh and blood like mine, but something stronger. I'll luxuriate for a while, letting all the tension drain from my body as my hair curls about me on the water. My thoughts are focused not on my own cleanliness, nor the stinging in my afflicted hand, but on my new friend. My god, and they were besties. Leofi, huh? That's a funny one. I don't know what to make of her. She's certainly strange, there's no two ways about it. But I guess I'll give her a weird, I guess I'll give her weird behavior a pass. It's not her fault, she comes from a completely different era. If I was taken from the creature comforts of the modern era and plunked down unceremoniously in the 8th century, I have no idea how I'd react. I'd probably contract a life-threatening disease and tumble headfirst into a well after 5 minutes. All things considered, Leofi's taking this change pace pretty well. Her enthusiasm must be catching, because I catch myself smiling, which is rare for me. I hardly ever smile. Over the course of my 16 years, I've learned that my smile encourages people to talk to me. Most of these people mean well, of course, but fending off comments about how small and dainty I am. Just look how old you are. Just how old are you really? It gets pretty old quick. It's easier to sulk about in the background. A perpetual frown on my face keeps people at bay. In time, I start to double down on my unapproachable appearance. Paint my face a white foundation and ringed my eyes with dark eyeshadow, so I look perpetually sleepy. I wore black and ripped fishnets, and strangers stopped making a fuss. When I'm with Leofi, I don't worry as much about my appearance as I usually do that. I feel like I can afford to let my guard down around her. Aww. The gay babies. I love them. Maybe it's because she's so strange and unusual herself. Or maybe it's because she swore herself to be my knight. She said she'd protect me. I don't know what it is she's protecting me from, but I do appreciate it. Girl, you nearly got fucking beheaded, like, a few hours ago. I think that's a big thing to be protected from. Hope I'll be able to return that favor one day. After my bath, Leofi and I head downstairs to have dinner with my grandma. We don't eat in the dining hall, at the too large wooden table, made for 12. Instead, we take a relaxed, decidedly more cozy meal in the kitchen, which is filled with homely scent of shepherd's pie. What is shepherd's pie again? I've heard... I know vaguely what it is, I don't remember what's exactly in it. Shepherd's pie, cottage pie, or its French version. I'm not going to pronounce that. Savory dish of cooked mince, meat topped with mashed potatoes and bait. It's just mince. mince the mashed potatoes. Honestly, personally not a fan, but, you know, go off I guess. Gran's hand-eye coordination may not be what it used to be, but she still knows her way around the kitchen. Our porridge this morning was hearty and nourishing, but she really shines when it comes to meat and veg. Her shepherd's pie is delicious. It's golden brown on the outside with just the right amount of crunch, but not even that can hold a candle to her Sunday roast. Grandma's big Sunday roast were one of the main reasons why I endured our weekly trips to Fen Chapel during my childhood. That and the fact I got to play with Ruby and Pearl and Ella and David and Oliver. Crazy girl. What? The sub-editing part of my brain is cringing at the amount of ands. Sadly, my myriad cousins aren't here. Now it's just Gran, Leofi, and me, a trio small enough to fit small enough to fit around the small kitchen table that overlooks the garden. Here you go, Leofi dear, I hope you like it. Gran sets a plate of steaming shepherd's pie down in front of Leofi, with a hostess's proud smile upon her lips. There isn't enough for seconds, unfortunately, as I didn't know I'd be entertaining a guest, but you're more than welcome to help yourself some cheese and crackers or some pudding. Do you like strawberries, dear? I have a lot of them, and they need eating. I also have some apple pies I made a few days ago. It's still good. There's one more slice left. You can have it with clotted cream if you like. Jesus Christ, girl, how much food do you have? Girl's keeping a fucking feast up her sleeve. Leave Leofi alone, Gran. You're overwhelming her. Just let her enjoy her dinner in peace. Oh yes, you're quite right, of course. Forgive me. Where are my manners? I don't mean to overwhelm you, dear. Please forgive this old woman. I'm just glad to have someone else around here to liven this place up. Now feel free to dig in. Don't wait for me. You're a growing girl, and nothing makes me happier than seeing people enjoy my food. Ah, this... Luffy stares at the plate of shepherd's pie in awe. Her eyes are positively sparkling, as though she'd never seen a more amazing sight. Forget the Eiffel Tower or the Leaning Tower of Pisa or Big Ben. The most amazing landmark in all of Europe is, without a shadow of a doubt, my grandma's cooking. Is this food really for me? Well, it isn't for the neighbor's cat. But this, I've never seen food that looks like this before. Luffy shifts a little closer to me and mumbles under her breath. What is this, Marnie? It's yellow, but part of it also looks brown. It's so fluffy. It's mashed potatoes. Potato? Oh, come on, you cannot bullshit me, you didn't have potatoes. That's right. But you know what potatoes are? I thought that was all medieval people ate. Potatoes and meat. Really had meat when I was younger. It's too expensive. Though rabbit was one of my favorites. So what did you eat? Mostly breads, eggs, oats, red vegetables that were grown to the ground too, like carrots and cabbages. But too much cabbage, actually. I soon began to tire of it. I was partial to honey, though. Sweet foods like that are not particularly common. We were unable to afford spices, but sometimes we had mint and parsley, though. These potatoes, though. Nothing sinks the, thymes. Is that what those things are called? Hold up. Well, shit, now we... I didn't expect to learn what the little teeth of the fork is called. Apparently they're called tines. I'm not prepared for this knowledge. I feel like I've learned something I'm not supposed to know. Like learning what the aglet is called. Leofi sinks the tines of her fork deeper into the soft, fluffy mound of mashed potatoes on her plate. They are quite perplexing. Are they like parsnips? Well, I guess they're both root vegetables, but they taste a little different. Seriously though, how can you not know what potato is? Leofi's bemusement over photographs of running water was expected. I never thought she'd be stumped by something as simple as a common potato. Have you been living under a rock these past few years? I was living in a forest, but I do not believe there were many rocks around me. It's useless. Using proverbs around her. She's far too old-fashioned, and she doesn't understand. Most like she doesn't understand potatoes. Do people in medieval England really not have access to potatoes? I thought they could grow everywhere. Girl, can you let the potatoes go? Just let it go. I feel like you're sticking way too. I think you're sticking way too hard to this potato bit. I'll have to look this up later. It's a good thing my phone still gets a slither of signal, even though Fen Chapel is in the middle of nowhere. I am most interested in these potatoes. I suppose I shall dig in. Leofi brings a spoonful of shepherd's pie to her lips. Steam rises from the mashed potatoes and she blows on it delicately, perhaps afraid of burning her tongue, before she puts it in her mouth. She closes her eyes, eyelashes massing together as she chews. She swallows them. My goodness! I had no idea these potatoes could be so very delicious. It's such a rich, complex mixture of flavors. The meat is juicy, the potatoes are soft, but crispy at the same time. And oh! This is amazing. This is the most wonderful thing I've ever had in all my life. This must be the stuff that kings and lords subsist on. I simply must try more. Leofi digs into her food eagerly, all traces of earlier skepticism gone. Brandon watches across the table, smiling genially. It seems my shepherd's pie is going down a treat. Do you like it, Leofi? Very much so. Leofi is so moved by the shepherd's pie, she momentarily forgets herself. She peeks for a mouthful. How ungallant? But Gran doesn't seem to mind instead, she laughs. I'm glad, just don't eat too quickly, dear. I don't want you to choke. Oh, I'll be very careful, my good woman. I would not want to waste a single scrap of your food. Really though, you must be some kind of enchantress to procure something so wonderful, such simple ingredients. Well, frankly, I did say I had magic fingers in the kitchen. Perhaps he was right. And magic mess up from nothing, no. Most of the ingredients came from Sainsbury's. The carrots were grown in our very own garden. There's some onions in there too, and peas, and... Oh, fuck you, you're really gonna make me... Worcestershire sauce for taste? Okay, how is that pronounced? Hold on. Don't say I'm not educational. Alright, let's play the pronunciation game. Alright.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
Okay, Worcestershire sauce. See, you learn something new. I can combine myself as an educator. Getting lesbians and random stuff. I know some people don't like Worcestershire sauce, but I'm glad it's been such a hit. It is incredible. If only my father had been able to cook like this. I fear I'm not worthy of so rare a delicacy. Tears begin to beam in Leofi's eyes. Oh boy, is this a fucking bot? What do you want? My brother here wants to offer a promotion for your child. Fuck off. Banned. Listen, I'd rather sit here with a dead chat for the rest of my streaming career than buy viewers and chatters. That's somehow more depressing than streaming to no one, you know? It'd be like going to a concert or like putting on a pantomime for no one, and then like pretending the audience is still interacting with you. They're like, oh no, you don't. And they're like, trying to gesture for an imaginary audience to do it along with you, you know? Are pantomimes just a British thing? Let's find out. It was developed in England, is performed throughout the United Kingdom, Ireland, to a lesser extent, other English-speaking countries, especially during the Christmas. Okay, apparently, America has some, but it's not very often. I haven't went to a panto in years. I wonder if there is a pantomime. Is there one? I have no idea. I'll find out later. Does she like the food so much it brought her to tears? No way. Mum's cooking is good. My grandma's cooking is good, but it's not that good. It's as bland as the food Leofi used to eat. I hardly dare to imagine. So, Marnie, whatever happened to my picnic hamper? Oh, shoot, I knew I was forgetting about something. I must have left it in the forest. I squirm guiltily. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm being interrogated by my head of year. It's the Marnie Lennox told Leona Davis to drink bleach during PE incident all over again. I know that I was to blame for that. I mean, yeah, I did tell Leona Davis to drink bleach, but she told me I was so short I looked like Cretcher from Harry Potter, and then she pinged the back of my brush strap when I was getting changed. So she deserved it. My head of year, Miss Gillespie, was not convinced. I'm sorry, Gran. I was so caught up meeting Leofi at the bus stop, it kind of slipped my mind. I think I must have left it in the forest. You're not mad, are you? Oh no, quite the contrary. I'm just glad to see you were in one piece, dear. That hamper was old, wasn't it? You've had it for years. I have, it's true, but it's not gone forever. I'm sure you'll be able to find it eventually. And if I can, I'd be unfortunate, yes, but there's no need to worry. That hamper is only an object. I don't store my memories inside physical things. They're all inside my head, you see. The Gran says, but I have my doubts. If that's true, why has she hung onto George's bird cage and Aunt Linda's clothes and my dad's toy train set? Maybe she's more upset than she's letting on. I'm rather curious about the gift I slipped into the hamper. Did you find it there? Yeah, you. I think girl is definitely way more annoyed than she's letting on. Like, imagine that family heirloom's just gone forever. One that has genuine, like, magic on it. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna say thank you, but I totally forgot. It's right here, Garn. At my skirt pocket where the necklace lies, hidden out of sight. Thanks for the gift, I really appreciate it. You're welcome, dear. I thought you might come in handy. Oh god. Oh. Yeah, I went down the wrong pipe for a sec. Keep it close, alright. You never know when you may need it. It's a precious heirloom that's been passed down my side of the family for generations. It's imbued with all sorts of powers. I just hope it can keep you safe. There are 5 bedrooms in my grandma's home. Jesus Christ. Back in the days of yore, when the Lennox family was together as one, my grandparents slept in the master bedroom with its large double bed and its walk-in wardrobe that smelled of rosewater. Uncle Jim, being the oldest child, was the second largest bedroom in the house all to himself. populated with dirty socks and plates covered in crumbs of pilfered meat pies. My grand's always been a dab hand in the kitchen. And I used to smell of a fussy teenage boy when he was younger. Or so my dad says. My dad's never liked Uncle Jim very much. Maybe that's because the 10-year age gap between them, and my Uncle Jim took advantage of this at every chance he got. Uncle Jim was always bossing my dad around when we were kids. Once when he caught my dad filling his radio, he hit my dad over the head with it and broke it. The third largest bedroom went to the oldest daughter, Allison, while the fourth bedroom belonged to the youngest daughter, Leda. My dad, being the youngest, had to share his bedroom with Uncle Stephen, until Jim moved out. Then he took Uncle Jim's room. Gran still sleeps in her own bedroom, and I chose Aunt Leda's old room as my temporary bedroom. Aunt Leda's room is small but cozy, and it overlooks the garden. From the wide windows, you can see a very nice view of the lake. I think it's fairly nice as far as rooms go. Particularly fond of the vanity table by the old wooden wardrobe, with the rosebuds carved around the mirror and the brass handles. As it stands, there are 3 rooms in my grandma's house that Leofi could choose to sleep in. It's not as a dire shortage of beds, unlike the inn in Bethlehem where Jesus was born. I don't remember Jesus, and I'd like one of my mum's sisters, Aunt Joyce, is a devout Catholic, and she lost no time in lecturing me about fire and brimstone whenever she babysits me. Maybe she's hoping to scare me into submission. Then she used to terrorize my mother when we were younger. That being the case, the current situation doesn't make any sense. I can't wrap my head around it. Oh my god, she's adorable. They're both look so cute in their pajamas. What are you doing in my room? Please don't raise your voice, my lady. My purposes are not nefarious, I promise. I've come here because I must, as your knight it is my duty to protect you, and to do that I must remain by your side. I get all that, but do you really need to stick to me 24/7, even when I'm asleep? I got Leofi cares about my welfare so much, but I think she might be taking things a bit too far. This all sounds rather fishy if you ask me. Oh yes, it's imperative that I stay by your side at all times. You are most vulnerable when you're asleep. That is precisely when you need my protection the most. I'm just staying with my gran, so there's anything in here that would hurt me. Right? Of that I'm not certain. Perhaps you're correct and I'm being too cautious. But is it better to be safe than sorry? Is that how the old saying goes? So Leofi's familiar with that turn of phrase, huh? I thought she was impervious to proverbs, but I guess some sayings are universal, universal enough they can even span centuries. As you know, the forest that borders this village is full of mysterious creatures and ill omens. It is entirely possible they could lurk the darkened streets when the moon is high. It is almost a full moon, you see. Leofi points out of the window. I follow the direction of her finger. Shoreward, the inky night sky beyond the window is illuminated by a round, pale moon. It isn't quite a full moon yet, but only a small sliver is needed to create a perfect pearly circle. It's not like I believe in astrology or that the shifting of the planets can impact your personalities and relationships. So many bizarre things have happened to me today. The almost full moon looks oddly eerie. I can't help but shudder. Maybe the full moon does signify something celestially important. What do I know? The world is much more mysterious than I ever gave it credit for. The full moon is said to contain untold powers. I have heard emperors were driven to madness because of it. I would never forgive myself if you were hurt. You were hurt because of my own carelessness. That is why I must stay with you as your knight. Leofi's intense eyes bore into mine. I swallow, abashed, and look away. I guess it's not. I guess it's no use talking her around. She's as immovable as a boulder, and she refuses to budge. Being stubborn must have been a prerequisite for any knight back in the day, particularly a female one. What little I know about the early 80s, was it a wonderful period to be a woman? Or any minority for that matter. Well, I guess women are. I guess we're slightly a minority. Only by like 1%. Let's find out. Yeah, we are 49.75% of the world's population. Meaning that technically we're a minority. But only by 0.25%. So I wouldn't consider it that much. I don't think I can dissuade Leofi. Isn't possible. Alright, fine, you can stay in this room with me if you really want, but where are you gonna sleep? The floor is very cozy, and I don't have a camp bed. That is a simple matter. I'll sleep by your side in this very bed. There's plenty of room, and I'll be at hand to protect you should it arise. Oh my god. Well, I guess we gotta share a bed together. My knight code says that we must share a bed. Nothing romantic going on there. It really is a perfect plan. Perfect, you say? I don't know about that. Why, is there a problem, my lady? A whole bunch of problems. For one, we're still strangers. Really? But I thought we were friends. We can be friends, but that doesn't mean I want to sleep with you. This is all moving too soon. I beg your pardon? Forget it. This is just... It'll never work, because there's no way I can share a bed with you. You not change your mind? No, you can't, so don't bother. That's my final word and I'm sticking to it. That's final. But despite my protests... I put myself sharing a bed with Leofi. A bed, well, actually, Letta's old bed, but she lives over in York now, so it's not like she has any use for it. Isn't that small, but Leofi's body still feels way too close to mine. Maybe that's a form of magic too. Why is my heart beating so hard? Oh my god, it's just flustered. But let's keep brushing against my own beneath the covers, and her brown hair tickles my cheeks. Every time she exhales, her breath dances against the nape of my neck, and I shudder. This is unbearable, it feels like torture. The full moon must have driven the Emperor Claudius to madness. Not that I know much about history, but at least he didn't have to reckon with Leofi. Yeah, having to share a bed with a cute night girl, truly a travesty. Am I gonna sleep like this? I turn about in bed, rumpling the covers and examining my gentle dozing companion. Her eyelashes are matted together and her lips are faintly pursed in sleep, almost like a princess from a fairy story. Though she's a knight, undoubtedly skilled with a sword, she really is pretty. Ugh, I need to stop thinking thoughts like this or I'll never be able to get any Jedi. Jeez. I sigh. Some brave noble knight you are. You fell asleep before I did. Leofi doesn't reply. She's cocooned deeply in the world of sleep, her eyes closed. She looks much as she did when I first found her in the forest, sword in hand, head lolling, just like a life-size doll. But, shallow though it is, Leofi's chest is unmistakably moving up and down in sleep. Her lips parted and her minty breath toothpaste was another novelty to my self-proclaimed knight, brushing her my cheek. She really is alive. She's real. It all feels fantastical, but how can I deny the truth when it's inches away from my face? I found a sleeping knight in an enchanted glade deep within the forest. I thought nothing interesting ever happened in Fenchapel, but I was wrong. I feel like we've embarked upon an adventure of a lifetime. This is undoubtedly amazing, but What am I gonna do with you? I sigh again. I have to go back soon, I have to go back home soon, you know? My parents will pick me up in a few days, then where will you go? You don't have any family or any friends, you're all alone. Leofi doesn't stir, she continues to lie there immobile, unaware of how much trouble she's causing. Stay with me and Gran for a while, but who knows what'll happen after that. It's not like I can take you to Grimsby with me. You're a real girl, not a pet. I'd hardly beg my parents to take you in. It's not possible. They'd think I was mad, and who knows, maybe I am. I reach out hesitantly and coil a strand of Leofi's brown hair about my index finger, just to double check she really is real. Her hair is soft and silky, feels cool against my skin. I shiver. Hey Leofi, what do you think? Where will you go when it's all over? What will you do? Leofi sighs in her sleep. She turns over, pulling the covers with her, and buries her cheek against my pillow, or against her pillow. Softly, so softly I think it must be imagining it. She murmurs something under her breath. Perhaps just my imagination, but I swear it sounds like Edmund. You look at this little title card. Didn't get very much sleep last night. Luffy's closeness agitated my heart too much, and I was only able to snatch about 3 or 4 hours of intermittent rest. I yawn as I sit at the breakfast table. And I'll fall face first into Gran's porridge. Fortunately, Gran isn't there to comment on the bags underneath my eyes. She said she felt a little tired this morning and went to put her feet up in the living room after serving us breakfast. It's just Leofi and I in the kitchen now, basking in the early morning sunshine. But it does little to rejuvenate me. It suddenly hurts my eyes, and I shrink away from it, hissing like Nosferatu. The most unrealistic part of this game is 2 teenagers waking up in the morning and not sleeping till like 12 in the afternoon. Which I am definitely not guilty of. I was definitely out of bed today before 1:30 in the afternoon. 100%. Why did it have to be so stupidly bright? It was a genuine yawn. Even the chirping of the birds outside is trying my patience. Look at my reflection in the cup of chamomile tea. Its face is so pale it could have skipped out of my foundation altogether. Didn't even bother with my favourite black eyeshadow. Shadows beneath my eyes are dark enough to render makeup unnecessary. Guess you could consider that a plus? Are you alright, my lady? Luffy looks at me with evident concern. She sounded like a log, unlike me. As I come to the land of dreams the moment her head touched the pillow. She didn't stir until around 8 o'clock in the morning. You want up at 8 in the morning? Bullshit. A teenager gets up before 9. It's easy for some people. You think having been frozen in a magical cryogenic sleep for more than 1,000 years, she wouldn't rest. She wouldn't need to rest quite as much. But I guess not. Maybe the wound she sustained yesterday took its toll, who knows? I'm fine, you don't need to worry about me. But as your knight, it is my duty to worry about you. So you're giving yourself too many duties. Because of Leofi's rampant desire to protect me that I got so little sleep in the first place. This is all her fault. Nonsense. I can never worry about you too much. It is no burden, trust me. Maybe it's not a burden for you, but for me... You fuss about me even more than my own mother does. And I wish my mother had been given the opportunity to fuss over me. Alas, she died shortly after I was born, and I never had the chance to know her. Okay, girl, just trauma dumping on us. It's like, yeah, my mom's dead. Well... Now that casts something of a pall over the breakfast table. I'm sorry to hear that. You need not to apologize, my lady. I was merely stating the facts. Women often die in childbirth during my era. It was to be expected. This is one of the reasons why I was so averse to the idea of having children. Girl, aren't you like 12? Aren't you like 16? My brother tried to talk me around, but I was always so flighty. I doubt I would have made a good mother. Also because, you know, you're a little free. Being a knight is much more exciting than slaving away over a stove and waving dirty noses. Do you guys have stoves? Being a knight comes with its own perils, surely? But being a knight comes with its own perils, surely? Oh yes, there was a significantly higher risk of being cut down by a sword or shot through the breast with an arrow. Totally worth it though. And even those deaths would be less grim than bleeding out after a botched pregnancy. Bards never sing of the trials women face when they give birth, but they do like to wax poetic about brave warriors who go off to battle. But I digress. You count yourself lucky that your family is willing to support you. I must admit I am somewhat jealous. But in lieu of your mother, I must step in and see to it that you are alright. You really don't have to. But I want to. Are you feeling alright? You do not have a temperature, do you? Luffy shuffles her chair closer to mine, his wooden legs screeching against the flagstone floor. Brushes a few strands of my pale hair to one side, then presses the palm of her hair. Then presses the palm of her hand flush against my face. Precedently, I feel my cheeks flush at this close contact. You'd think she'd be a little less handsy, since she comes from a different era to my own. But I guess Leofi's a medieval girl through and through, not a scruffy Victorian. And it seems her idea of personal space is a little different to my own. Did medieval people have a concept of personal space? Maybe they didn't have much time to worry about such trifling matters when people were huddled together for warmth to survive the wicked winters. You do feel warmth. You do feel a touch warm. I'm fine, really. I back away from Leofi in a frenzy, my face burning. Why does being in her company make me feel so perpetually flustered? She's definitely pretty, that goes without saying, but I've never gone to places like this around. I've never gone to pieces around this, like this around anyone else before. Maybe it's because of the magic in the air. Yeah, totally, it's the magic. Let's just go with that. Are you finished with that, Leofi? Yeah, show the bowl of porridge and she nods her head. Yes, indeed. It was most delicious. Your grandmother is a talented cook. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that. You'll have to let her know that. You'll have to let her know later. I guess I'll clean these up then. I guess I'll clean these up then. I take our bowls to the sink and Leofi chills behind me, like a lost puppy. You have barely touched your food, Marnie. I'm not that hungry. Tut tut. That is no good. You'll run out of stamina if you don't eat everything up. Moreover, your grandmother's cooking is so good it seems a shame to waste it. Why don't you have the rest if you want it so much? Well, I would not want to eat your food from under your nose, but if you insist. Leofi takes by a bowl of half-finished porridge gracefully. Then all but skips back to the table, a bright smile on her face. Thank you so very much. You're so predictable. So much for caring about my health. Was all this just a ploy so she could eat my leftovers? Luffy might be a noble knight, but she's something of a glutton. Delicious. Porridge is nice and thick and is sweet too. Sugar is a godsend, and these strawberries are so plump and juicy. Hey, be careful, why don't you? You've got some porridge in your cheek. Where? Here? No, right there. Luffy tries to lick the stray bit of porridge from my cheek with her pink, probing tongue while I wash the bowl in the sink. The sound of running water drums against the metal basin of the sink. It's kind of relaxing, I guess. I rub the sponge back and forth against the circumference of the bowl, scrubbing away any bits of porridge left. Kind of feel like an archaeologist trying to buff up an old Grecian, Grecian vase for display at a museum. Anyway, what do you want to do today? Do you have anything in mind? Leofi ponders, leaning back in her chair. There's still a bit of porridge stuck to her cheek. I'd like to go back into the forest again, but I know that would be a wise idea. You look dead on your feet, my dear lady. I doubt you would be up for any vigorous exercise. I do not want to tire you out needlessly. Moreover, Leofi massages her right shoulder, her left arm. She rotates her injured shoulder a few times, wincing. I am still recovering from the wound I sustained yesterday. While I can still hold a sword, I have no real desire to pick a fight with anybody. I was able to escape yesterday, but I fear today would not be so lucky. I want to help him if I can, but... Luffy shakes her head. Well, never mind. I trust there will be time enough for that. Luffy doesn't specify who it is exactly she wants to help, but the true meaning behind her words is almost immediately obvious. Of course she's talking about her brother Edmund. We still don't know what strange spell he's under. He's under a spell at all, but I have no doubt Leofi wants to help him. But what can she do? Charging into the woods with an injured arm would be nothing short of suicide. It would be better if we both got some rest. I don't want to sit idly by. It has been such a short time since I have been able to experience this world and all its delights. I think it'd be a shame to waste the opportunity. Then, how about this? Finish washing the last piece of porridge residue from Leofi's bowl. Set the dripping piece of cookery to one side, and dry my hands on one of my grandma's many kitchen towels. This one is blue and white, embroidered with birds. Then I turn back to Leofi. Venchapel is rather new to you, right? Indeed, though I have been to the settlement before. It is quite different than it was in my time. Why don't I show you around? It's not as much to really show, but a few fields and a farm, and I guess the church is kind of interesting. Can't promise it's much fun, but maybe I should look on the bright side. Venchapel is still a relatively dull, boring village, deep in the middle of nowhere, but at least I'm not on my own. And that's something to be thankful for. I was trying to be thankful at least, but... There really is nothing here, huh? I sigh and kick at a loose pebble with the tip of my trainer. No matter how I try, it's hard to put a positive spin on this petty little village. Everything in Venchapel is small, from the primary school to its narrowed streets to the houses themselves. Venchapel's staggering population of 500, give or take, is largely comprised of OAPs, and the houses reflect that. What does that mean? OAP. An OAP is a person who is old enough to receive an old age pension from the government. It stands for old age pensioner. Oh, look at that, we always learn stuff. Let's go. Most of the brick buildings that line the road are single-story bungalows built for elderly couples, too ancient to hobble up flights of stairs. Grand and practically a huge house sticks out like a sore thumb. At least it would if it wasn't buffered from the rest of Venchapel by a sprawling garden and a twisting, turning driveway lined with oak trees. I meander down the street aimlessly, my hands shoved into my pockets. We've passed the shut-up school about 3 times now. Though Leofi was excited at her first sighting of it, I think it dates back to the 1920s, her initial enthusiasm is wearing off. If she's starting to get bored of this village after a day, what does the future hold? The prognosis isn't a positive one, I can tell you that much. Sorry for dragging you around here, I hope you're not too bored. Oh no, I think this village is very interesting. Luffy smells bravely, but I think she might be putting on an act. Maybe she's afraid too much negativity will hurt my feelings. You can be honest with me, you know? You don't I don't care one way or the other. I'm not that keen on Fen Chapel either. I live in Grimsby, which is a town by the sea. There's way more shops and houses and public transport. Even if the stink of fish guts is pretty pervasive around the harbour, particularly during the summer. I mean, I know someone who lives by the sea. Apparently it's constantly windy. Which, you know, is to be expected. But, you know, she's not complained too much about it yet. If you're back in Grimsby, I could show you some of the museums and shops. It's not like London, but at least there's some stuff to do there. I bet you'd like that more. Grimsby does sound interesting, but I'm rather fond of this village too. It may be small, but it's still bigger than many of the settlements in my own time period. The woman at the corner shop, as you termed it, was very friendly too. I don't know if friendly was the right word for it. She seemed more bemused than anything by her encounter with Leofe. Not that I can blame her. We stopped by the corner shop a little ways back, mostly because, well, I wasn't sure where else to take Leofe, and I think maybe a can of Red Bull would wake me up. This is literal. You could have done the meme about giving what was it? Something about giving Victorian children Red Bull. Giving a Victorian child Monster and showing them YouTube. Leofe was intrigued by the section of snacks on display, particularly the Space Raiders, which she was particularly taken by the coolers in the back of the dingy store filled with frozen fruit pies and tubs of ice cream. Look at this, Marty, it's incredible! When I put my hand into the storage box, I could feel it chill in my fingertips. Could there be a slice of winter stored inside this device? It must be magic. I had to explain, my face turning red as the woman at the store stared at us, that no, it wasn't magic, it was just a refrigerator. I bought Leofe a Solero in the end. What's a Solero? Oh, it's those wee ice creams with the fruit shell on it. I was never a huge fan. I've always been more of a Magnum kind of girl. But I can respect the Solero. Mostly to shut her up, but her curiosity still hasn't abated. Aww, look at her. She's so cute. The babies are so cute. I believe this is as they call it in the absolute Weebaloozer circles that I myself am a part of. As I believe this is described as moe. Or something close to it at least. This is quite refreshing. Leofe licks her mango ice cream with a content smile. I've never had one once or twice, they're quite nice. No, that's probably wouldn't be my go-to. I have to wonder how it keeps its shape though. It's a warm day and the sun is high in the sky. This ice cream, as you call it, is still cold. I'll just told you, it's because it was stored in a fridge. Fridge? Yeah, it's what the thing in the shop was that amused you so much. She kept putting her fingers in and out of it, then giggling, just like a little kid. We use them to keep cold food so it doesn't spoil or go off when it gets hot. Is that so? Leofe examines her Solero as though it were a curio in a museum. That is ingenious! We used to prefer food by salting or smoking it back in my day. Only wealthy people could pack food in ice during the hot months. I failed to see any ice in that refrigerator though. How did it keep everything cold? Electricity? Electricity? Electricity is, never mind. I hardly understand how electricity works myself. How am I gonna explain that to Leofe? Yeah, it's like, when people are like, oh yeah, if I go back in time, I'll blow everyone's mind of my modern knowledge. It's like, well, okay, there's this thing called there's electricity, right? Well, how do we make it? I don't know. We always like to think we'd blow people's mind for modern knowledge, but most of us don't know how electricity works. I have only a vague idea. Something about copper and magnets. I don't know. I'm gonna be real with you all. You just accept that it works like everyone else, without questioning how and whys. I mean, you can look it up. With the magic of the internet, we could just look up how a fridge works. Boom. Literally like 5 seconds. Refrigerators use a closed system that relies on refrigerant traveling in coils throughout the fridge. The internet really is amazing. You're able to watch me play a fucking lesbian visual novel and look up how fridges work. The answer to almost any question, just there, and none of us use it most of the time, other than like settling arguments. I find that's kind of wild. Just like it's such like a sci-fi concept. Like, oh yeah, everyone's just got access to this the biggest database of human knowledge. It's wild. Just accept that it works like everyone else without questioning the hows and whys. Though I'm sure if I had paid more attention to physics class, I'd have a better understanding of the world around me. I never realized how ignorant I was until all these day-to-day things. I was of all these day-to-day things until I met Leofi. I think I've seen all there is to see around these parts. There's not much else to go. There's not much else to go, but we could stop by the church. Oh yes, what a good idea. Leofi licks the last bit of her half-melted Solero from the wooden stick, then drops it into a nearby dustbin. But she knows how a bin works. I'd very much like to see what modern churches look like. There were monasteries and abbeys back in my period, of course, but they were all quite somber. Sober buildings made of stone. But the churches nowadays are more intriguing. What she expect to find in Fenchapel's local church? Merry-go-round and a ball pit? She's hoping for fun, she'll be sorely disappointed. Ooh, new background, look at that. Fancy. You say that the church is this way, milady? Mm-hmm. It's down this windy road, past all these trees. Fenchapel doesn't have much going for it architecturally, but by God, does it have a lot of trees. That's the only thing that isn't in chronically short supply around this place. Ah, please wait a moment, my lady. What is it? You didn't get stung by something, did you? No, it's not that. I just need to adjust my shoes. Leofi pauses, balancing on one leg as she struggles to undo the silvery buckle binding her shoe to the foot. Leofi's new shoes, like the rest of her new clothes, were pilfered from Aunt Leda's old stuff. Fortunately, Aunt Leda's old shoes fit her perfectly. There shouldn't be any problems with them, but the shoes do have the slightest sliver of a heel, and Leofi keeps stopping to fiddle with them. You alright? I'm fine. I apologize for being a burden, my lady. I'm not accustomed to walking in shoes such as these. Fine though they are, I think I need a bit more practice. I did not imagine when we first set off that this church would be so far away, or that the path would be so uneven. Tell me about it. My grandparents used to take me and my cousins here every Easter. Such a long slog. You'd think they'd build a church a little closer to the center of the village. I wonder why that's all the way out here. Maybe they wanted to lay the dead to rest away from the noise of the city. Maybe they wanted to lay the dead to rest away from the noise of the city and the ways of living. Lying beneath the shade of the old oak trees, submerged from the soil. It does not sound like a particularly bad way to go. If that's the case, it was very thoughtful. But it seems like a bit of a waste. It's not like Fenchapel's a metropolis. It's not like its citizens would make enough noise to raise the dead. But then I think about it, Fenchapel's church is more than 700 years old. So many people have been buried around the church's sprawling grounds. There are probably more skeletons in the soil than there are living, breathing people in Fenchapel proper. As only apocalypse were to occur, Fenchapel will be overrun in minutes. I doubt the Garatrix? And their bungalows would be able to put up much of a fight. Sometimes churches are constructed on the outskirts of settlements, fitting important places of worship. Graveyards bring bad luck. And diseases too. Maybe that's why. Temel's church, the original one anyway, was constructed only a century or so after the Black Plague decimated Europe. Perhaps whoever built this church was afraid if they put it too close to the village, they'd run the risk of infecting the villagers if any diseased corpses were laid to rest. Well, that's not like I can go back in time and ask. I've only met 2 people in my short life who come from the distant past, and one of them wasn't exactly talkative. Well, never mind. We're nearly there now. Turns in the path. Theophil hurries along by my side, her ponytail bobbing. The ground is congested with weeds and yet more singing nettles. I make sure to give these a wide berth. Fruit-bearing trees are dotted here and there, half hidden by the oaks and birches. Branches laden with ripe red berries sway gently in the breeze as though trying to tempt us. Wildflowers grow in the tall grass, and clusters of mushrooms are stacked one on top of another beneath some of the old tree trunks. There really is a lot of nature around Fanchapel. It is as though the village itself is being swallowed by plants. Leofi closes her eyes and inhales deeply, savouring the rich scent of the soil. Many years have passed, but it remains as scenic as I remember. She crouches, eyes shining, and reaches out for a damp cluster of mushrooms growing at the base of trees. I wonder if I could eat these. They do look rather nutritious. Why are you thinking about food at a time like this? You've eaten so much already, and it's only 11 o'clock. You can't be hungry. I'm not famished by any means, but surely a small snack wouldn't hurt. Snack wouldn't hurt. As your knight, I need to keep up my strength so I can intercept any enemies who may try and attack us. I think you're just trying to excuse your own gluttony. Why are you so hungry? You were asleep for 1,000 years. She's got a lot of eating to catch up on. That's exactly why I want to sample as many dishes from this era as I can. Being unable to eat for 13 centuries is a miserable thing indeed. I would not even wish that upon my worst enemy. So you want to stop for a snack? If I may. No, you may not. I nudge Leofi in the side with the tip of my shoe. She almost overbalances. I just eat food off the ground. It's unsanitary. But I used to do that all the time when I was younger. And did that ever have any unfortunate outcomes? Well, once I ate some rather sour berries and my stomach turned most horribly. My skin went cold and clammy and then I vomited. But I was alright in the end. Only I had to lie in bed for a week. Only a week, she says. I shake my head. I can see why your brother was so adamant against you becoming a knight now. Do you have any common sense? I like to think that I am reasonably intelligent, but when I get hungry... Your own greed wins out, does it? At least she's honest about it. Well, don't worry. We can go back and get something from Gran's in a couple of hours. I think she has some cold ham in the fridge and some of Moira's homemade bread. You absolutely can't eat those mushrooms though. A dog may have pissed on them, or they could be poisonous. But there are no buts. Now, get up. Let's go. Let's keep going. Oh, alright then. You're my lady and it's my duty to obey you, but... Leofi casts one last lingering look at the mushrooms before finally getting to her feet. It is a pity. Those mushrooms look delicious. I roll my eyes. Leofi may be a brave knight, but his survival instincts are surprisingly poor. I have to keep an eye on her in the future. I don't want her getting food poisoning. I have enough things to worry about. Most of them Leofi related, with my curse of self-control making it even worse. Right, and I believe with that, I think that's a decent place to end it off. Overwrite the save, yes. I believe that's a decent place to end it off for today. My per I'm kind of tired. I've got college work to be working on, and I haven't had dinner yet. So I'm gonna go make something for dinner, get some college work done, and I'm gonna try and stream again tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I want to get through this game. This is already like my 4th or 5th stream. This is my 4th stream of it already. And you know, I want to finish it. So I'll try and stream it tomorrow or Wednesday. But until then, I'll see ya. Bye. Wrong button. I always fucking do that.